like we always do before we give our analysis of the track and our picks for the track, let's dive into our power rankings and NASCAR fantasy this week. So I will
Okay.
do the liberty of starting off with the power rankings and fantasy because, well, let's both do the power rankings. I'll go first, though, because I feel like everybody thinking I'm copying off of you at this damn point. So, all right, starting at number 5, I got a big shakeup now after Richmond. Number 5, I've got William Byron following a couple spots. Not great at Richmond, but I mean, he's still likely going to race pretty well at Martinsville this weekend. Christopher Bell stays at number 4 for me. Denny Hamlin, after getting that win at Richmond, moves up to number 3. He was just outside my power ranking top 5. Number 2, I've got the guy that somehow got 3rd. He was the fastest car to start off the race and the first stage and a half, I would say. Kyle Larson's my number 2, and staying at number 1, Martin Truex Jr. is number 1 in my power rankings. Yeah, he was pretty pissed off at the end of the race, but I mean, he was the fastest car. I had pit road issues that kind of cost him the race, and restart issues too. But if you see, who I don't have anymore is Ryan Blaney fell out there. Couple races not being up front will do that to you, but I mean, now that I'm saying that, he'll probably go in and end up winning damn Martinsville. So who's your top 5 power rankings heading into Martinsville?
All right. At number 5, I didn't have him in last week, but I put Kyle Larson in at number 5. At 4, I kept it the same. I got Martin Truex Jr. at 4. I couldn't see bumping him even as fast as he was. Hard to make him go ahead. At the same number 3, I got Denny Hamlin. Hard to put Truex ahead of him. Hamlin 1. Now here's where I got the shake up a little bit. Number 2, I bumped Ryan Blaney down 1 notch. So Ryan Blaney's at number 2. I said it's going to take a couple races for him just to, Yep. And this one, like you had him just coming into your top 5, I've got him up from number 2. I have William Byron. His race at Richmond was sort of one of those Harvick type races. It's like you didn't hear anything from him, and all of a sudden at the end, boom, he's in the solidly, top 10. I think about 6th or something like that.
All right, well, I mean, similar drivers, but yeah. It's definitely interesting for sure. All right, so going into our NASCAR fantasy lineups for this week, newsflash, I pretty much copy and pasted from last week because these are very similar consistent drivers at this track as to Richmond. So here's my starters for this week. Again, I'm going to have to go with some non-amazing drivers coming up. But this time I'm not making it happen.
I got 2 new ones in this week.
The garage is different. That's it. So my starting lineup, I've got Kyle Larson. He is last year's winner of this race. You can win on Sunday if you want, Larson. Please, I'll be there. And my son would love to see you do a burnout the entire track. That would be badass in person. All right, the next one, I've got Martin Truex Jr. They call it Martinsville for a reason. Denny Hamlin, he's great at Martinsville too. All the Richmond tracks he's great at. I got Christopher Bell in, William Byron, and my garage is Joey Logano. That's the only difference that I have this week is Joey Logano in my garage. All right, for the feature matchups this week, they have Denny Hamlin versus Martin Truex Jr. I'm going to give the slight edge to Martin Truex Jr. this week, and if it comes down to the 2 of them, I'm very curious to see what happens. Ryan Blaney versus William Byron. I know Blaney won it last in the fall to punch his ticket to Phoenix, but I've got William Byron. I think all the Hendrick cars, you just have a little extra motivation this week with the Ruby 40th anniversary cars. I think you'll see them all. I swear if they're all in like the top 4, I won't even know who's who because they all pretty much look the same.
They all look alike.
Yeah, and then next one is Chase Briscoe versus Noah Gragson. I gave the slight edge to Noah Gragson. I don't really have a reason. I think Noah can.
Noah's been running pretty decent.
Yeah, I think he's able to save. He'll be able to save his equipment and race it smart, and at least be able to beat Chase Briscoe. So, and also the last one, Joey Logano versus Kyle Busch. I've got Joey Logano. Kyle Busch has just not been running well lately. It's obviously not lack of talent. It's lack of he pissed somebody off, the racing gods or something, because he's the worst absolute luck of the
Yeah,
last couple
that
of
car's
weeks.
been shit though too. It has not handled well at all.
Yeah, he's not happy. So, and Austin Dillon actually has changed crew chiefs and car chiefs, I believe. So they're making changes there already. So I would not be shocked if they make some changes to Kyle Busch if stuff keeps happening there. All right, go ahead with your lineups this week.
All right, our featured lineups are exactly the same.
Oh, fantastic! Look at that. You're copying off of me.
But our
That's what I would-
starters are not.
Okay.
So new this week, I put in Josh Berry, short track racer.
He had a great race at Richmond.
Yep. So I have not run him yet this year, so I got him in. And in this week, new is Alex Bowman. Also had a pretty good run going. It's hard to not put a Hendrick car, in there. I also have Joey Logano in my top 5, Chase Elliott, William Byron, and my garage is Ross Chastain.
I thought you were about to put just all the damn Hendricks up in there.
No, I'm not putting Larson in because I just jinxed him, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Well, I did pick him to win last week, and he spun out and ended up third. So I don't really know if I technically jinxed him. I don't know. All right. Well, if anybody was wondering, the good bets they have this week, take this with a grain of salt because it's never right. Ryan Blaney's a good bet, they say. I mean, you're going out on a limb there, the Vegas. Joey Logano's a good bet, and I really agree with that one. I think Joey's going to have a good race. He had a little bit of a slump for a couple races.
Yeah, he runs pretty good at Martinsville.
Yeah, he does. It says avoid Tyler Reddick once again. They just don't like him, I guess. I don't even know where he ran at Richmond. I didn't even I don't remember. It says avoid Daniel Suarez. I'd agreed with that one. I do agree with that one. He does not run very great at Martinsville. And they said a sleeper is Chase Briscoe. So, I mean, that's of course going to happen because now I picked Noah over him. So there's our NASCAR fantasy lineup for this week for all of you. And make sure you pick my stuff because apparently I've been making stuff happen in it now.